Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. I'm here with a Jeep. What? Yeah, this is a Jeep Gladiator from RMT Overland. And as much as my followers and fans of my Tacoma or Toyotas, Land Cruisers wish I hated Jeeps, I don't. I think they're awesome. My first vehicle I ever owned was actually a Jeep Wrangler. Little tidbit. So this is a Jeep Gladiator built by, upfitted by RMT Overland. So that's what this video is gonna be about. It's gonna be basically a walk around of this rig. But first I'm gonna talk a little bit about RMT Overland as a company. If you guys remember, I tested some vehicles with them back in before COVID, but I think the video was released sometime in February. It's on my channel. I'll link to it up here. And that's kind of when RMT Overland launched. So that was, I was out testing, they build Rangers and F-150s and Silverado 1500s and GMC and Ram 1500s. They build a lot of different vehicles. They just added Jeeps to their lineup. So this is kind of new. The RMT has been building other vehicles for a while. Anyways, we did that video, COVID hit, things went kind of weird, and now they're kind of relaunching, though they've been building those vehicles, they're kind of relaunching with their new Jeep bailment. And sorry, the sun is crazy bright, but it's cold out, so this little floppy hat is back. Hate it all you want. I love it. So RMT Overland is a company that is owned actually by Fox Factory, Fox. Suspension Fox that everyone knows. So Fox owns RMT, so they've been investing in kind of the development and the performance of these vehicles, which I'll get into, has Fox shocks and components on there, obviously. And my relationship with Fox and RMT is that I'm kind of helping them with testing the vehicles and some marketing and some branding and some social media. So I do have a formal relationship with Fox and RMT, just full disclosure there. But the vehicles are awesome, and I'm gonna talk about why. So this here is a pretty crazy Jeep Gladiator. I mean, it's got bed rack, 10 on top, max tracks, bumper, winch. These are 37s. It's got a 3.5-inch Fox Factory suspension lift on it. Those are 2.5s front and rear with remote reservoirs and piggybacks with DSC. All the bells and whistles you could want out of a suspension. It's got some extra lights, snorkel, all this stuff. So we'll get into it specifically, but what this is a vehicle that you can buy exactly like this. Like this, literally everything that's on this, you can drive this off the lot. So you can capitalize on dealer incentives. All of this stuff comes with a factory warranty that you can get serviced at whatever dealership. And then you have the knowledge knowing that all the suspension was tuned to this build, all of the parts were professionally installed. It's FMVSS certified, which is all the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Certification ratings. All that stuff is on this vehicle that you can literally drive off a lot, brand new. I actually got this vehicle, I had like 40 miles on it or something when I got it. So sorry about racking some of the miles up. But that is the idea of Turnkey Adventure and RMT Overland. Now RMT Overland, love or hate that word. I think it's a great word, but a lot of people hate it. RMT Overland, RMT has been in business for over 40 years actually. So they have a long history of upfitting vehicles, and they kind of rebranded to RMT Overland to change the style of vehicles they built to be functional adventure vehicles. So currently now, if you get an RMT Overland F-150 or a Ranger or a Gladiator or a Wrangler or whatever, that is a vehicle that is intentionally built for adventure. So RMT being owned by Fox, you know that you're in pretty good hands when it comes to your suspension. I love Fox. It's on my Tacoma, it's on my mountain bike. They're kind of the industry leaders in suspension. So this comes with Fox out the gate, and this is 2.5 with a remote reservoir up here. And front and rear do have DSC, which means you can adjust the compression for low and high speed compression. So that means your quick hits and your slower hits, you can adjust kind of how soft and cushy you want it and how stable and supportive you want it, all just with a few clicks right there. I'll link to a video that Fox put out kind of telling more about adjusting that stuff, because that's kind of a whole video in and of itself. So the coils give about a 3.5-inch lift. They're dual rate coils. And then the actual shocks are Fox 2.5-inch Performance Elite shocks, like I said. In the rear here, nice and dirty. They have the remote reservoir as well, piggyback style. And all of the colors of this rig kind of tie in to the suspension. So you have color matched little vents, and then your color matched wheels, color matched coils, color matched links, color matched shackles up here. And then actually on the inside as well is a color matched dash sections. And sorry, the lighting is just so harsh up here in the Colorado sunlight. But that's an option that you can get if you want to spice things up a little bit, but you can also just get these things all black, and it does come with all of the black Jeep badging. So your suspension from Fox is dialed, but that's not all you get. You get 37, so these are 37-inch BFG KM3s with the meaty tread mud terrains. You can also get the KO2s if you prefer to go that route, but the KM3s are just so sexy. Though I personally myself actually run KO2s just because I get so much snow, and they're better, a little better on road for snow. You get a snorkel already installed here, and you get these exclusive kind of proprietary hood brackets that RMT makes. So these bolt into the hood. They have a little pass-through for your cable routing. And they have these mounted, these kind of ditch lights, I guess, mounted forward. I personally would turn these and mount them more so they're aiming at the ditch, but that's obviously an easy adjustment to make. They also have all of these other slots. So these slots are for accessory screws. These are on both sides here. So that way you can either mount more lights, you can mount high lifts, you could get brackets to mount max tracks on the hood. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. So it's kind of just an accessory mount right here on the hood. Adds a bit of visual flair, but also functional. So in the front, you get an aftermarket steel bumper, and this is an optional winch that you can add on as well, so that can get installed from factory. I'm just gonna call some of this stuff from factory, though technically it's at the RMT factory, not at the Jeep factory necessarily. Underneath, a bit more of the color matched goodness, and we have a Fox steering stabilizer. And then this is a sport model. So I'll talk a little bit more about sport versus Rubicon and pricing and all that stuff later. So the sport model doesn't come with electronic sway bar disconnects, and doesn't even come with quick disconnects. So this, they install quick disconnects if you have a sport. So that way you just pull this pin, you flip this bar up, and it attaches into this up here, and that gets your sway bar up and out of the way so you can get full articulation when you're out on the trail without too much work. And then another little proprietary piece are the functional rock sliders, tube rock sliders. So these are designed and developed by RMT. And then a really cool thing is this bed rack on the back. This is another proprietary in-house design. And you can see it's kind of got this cool forge looking, sorry, the lighting's better over here. So you can see the design. It's got this cool skeletonization and integrated handles, actually. So if you are, pop your tailgate down and you're getting up, you use that as a handle. And actually when I was deploying the tent and stuff, I found that coming in really, really handy. So it looks awesome, but is also functional. The other thing is this is using aluminum extrusions with these parts already drilled out, so you can just drop accessory pins in there. That's how your rotopacks are mounted, which is another option that you can get from factory. And these accessory brackets basically go into this channel and the upper channel, and you can mount rotopacks. The same accessory also allows you to mount max tracks on there as well, which also you can get from factory. And the cool thing about this rear bar system is, yeah, you can mount a tent or racks or whatever you want on it, but this is like a quick adjustment. So if you take the tent off and you want to slide this bar all the way forward, you don't need to undo a bunch of bolts. It's got quick adjustment knobs right there. So you loosen those up and then you can slide that bar all the way forward, so that way you can put your bikes or whatever you want in here. And this is a pretty nice mid-height bed rack option. You can also get it with a rooftop tent. So you can drive off the lot literally right up into the mountains and start camping. This one has a roam. There may be a couple other options available, but with COVID right now and availability of rooftop tents, it's actually surprisingly tough to get them. So right now I think you can get them with roams, but I believe iCampers may be an option or something else. But if you want to get it without the tent, obviously you can get it with the bed rack add-on and then put whatever tent you want right on top. And then one more little color match thing back here, the rear tow hook, and then the black badging as well. So that's what RMT has on this package, and just go to rmtoverland.com and you can see all of the different options they have for the different vehicles that they currently are offering for. But some other stuff was added that you can get added from Jeep. So you got the color matched fender flares. This actually has the towing package, so it has the Dana 44 wides, front and rear, with the 410s. And man, this engine combo gear ratio on 37s drives so much better than my Tacoma on 35s. So everyone knows the Tacoma transmission is not, it leaves a little to be desired. I love the Tacoma otherwise, but this thing drives so nice. And the suspension on this is obviously a lot better than my Tacoma as well. So driving this around really kind of, I don't know, it makes me really like the Gladiator. And then so going inside these Bajas with these little amber covers, the Baja designs are wired up to, this one has the optional auxiliary switches in here. So it'll come pre-wired to the aux switches, but on some of these systems you'll get like a trigger controller or something like that. This one wires up right to the factory auxiliary switches. So again, this is the Sport, and again, sorry for the crazy harsh lighting, but it's surprisingly nice inside. It has, this one has the cold weather package or whatever it's called, with heated steering wheel, which, oh, I've never owned a vehicle with heated steering wheel, and this one has it, and wow. It's nice, honestly. And heated seats, obviously, and a couple other things through here. What you're missing, but you can get if you get the Rubicon, is, you know, your factory lockers and your factory electronic sway bar disconnect. So this does not have that on the Sport, full disclosure, but there's some reasons behind that. What you're looking at right here is the RMT package on a Jeep Gladiator Sport. And the pricing of this, believe it or not, is going to be very close and competitive to a Rubicon Gladiator that has nothing. You know, it's just rolling off the lot as a Rubicon. And nothing wrong with Rubicon Gladiators. They're really amazing vehicles, but then you're going to have to spend another 15 to 20,000 or whatever to get it kind of built up more with all this stuff. So the idea behind it is that you can get a Sport, you can get all the bells and whistles, and granted, electronic sway bar disconnect is nice, but you can disconnect the sway bar with the quick disconnects, so not, you know, it's just kind of a convenience thing. And this doesn't have lockers. It's got like the kind of brake modulation kind of thing that they come with, but it doesn't have true lockers in here. So the main thing that you would be missing, that I would be missing anyway, are true lockers, which depending on what kind of stuff you're getting into, maybe you'll use, maybe you won't use. I don't use lockers all the time, and my Tacoma only has them in the rear. My Land Cruiser, my 80 series, has them front and rear, but I don't use them all the time, but they certainly come in handy sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of the idea on the pricing structure. But if you do want this in a Rubicon with the RMT package, you can get that as well. If all the, professionally installed everything and warranty and dealer financing and incentives and all that stuff appeals to you a ton, but you really want the Rubicon, you can do that as well. And to make that into a reality, so to speak, the easiest way from my understanding is there's a lot of ways. You go and there's a dealer locator. So you go to rmtoverland.com, find a vehicle or locate a vehicle, and then you can type in where you live and it'll show you a live inventory of models that are available within whatever range of your location. So that means one of these is pre-built, sitting on a dealership lot, ready for you to go and buy it. If there's nothing available, if there's nothing you want, you could contact the dealer and see if they have anything coming in. But if you want to go something special, you say, oh, I want an orange Gladiator with these options and heated seats and KO2s, and I don't really care about the bed rack or whatever, then what you would do is there's a couple ways you could do it. But the most efficient way would be to contact RMT Overland direct. So you go to their website again, rmtoverland.com, they have a chat or a contact form, and you say, hey, I live wherever, I'm really looking for this specifically, and they'll go through kind of the package options with you and what's available. And then RMT will work with a sales guy at whatever dealership that you choose that's in their network, and they will build that, get that vehicle out, ship to the dealership, go shake hands, done deal. And then you have an awesome rig that is kind of custom built to you. So conceptually, I like it. I love the idea of being able to get a vehicle right from the dealership that's ready to go. And it's kind of funny for me to say because I've always built vehicles. Back in college, I had a bone stock Samurai that I swapped out from leafs to coils on 35s, lockers, transfer case, like did everything with my buddy Matt in his garage. And that kind of started a lifelong journey of tweaking and building and wrenching. So for me to say that something like this is really appealing to me is kind of funny. My younger self might have not have thought that. But in the off-road space, there's a lot of haters. There's a lot of people like, oh, that guy doesn't even wrench. That guy didn't even install. And coming from someone that has done all that stuff, I don't care what other people do. I don't care what other people choose to do with their vehicles. I personally am in a stage in my life where I find a huge value in having a bunch of professionals do things the right way that are safety certified and warranted, and I could go and take it on the trail, and if something breaks, I know that I don't need to spend the next week trying to figure it out and fix it. I just take it to a dealership and they can fix it. Call me what you want, but that is super appealing to me. And not that upfitting is new, like this company alone has been around for 40 years, but the whole concept of it, when applied to an adventure vehicle, makes a lot of sense. You can still get this vehicle and you can still add whatever tint you want. You could swap out lights. You could do some of the more like basic mods that give it kind of your personal flavor. But getting a vehicle that is built and ready to go and tested and backed by a company like Fox, and also in order to be the upfitters that has all the FMVSS certification and everything like that, you also have to be backed by the OEM. So the Fords or the Jeeps or whatever come into the plant and they check how you're doing things and they check the facility and they say, this meets our requirements. Your local off-road shop doesn't have any of that. Nothing against local off-road shops, love supporting them, but this is kind of the next step up from that. So that's what this is, and really exciting for me to be a part of it because I have a lot of fun with these types of vehicles. So yeah, the list is kind of evolving what they're available for. Jeep just got added to the list. Maybe Toyota will be added later, who knows? But if you want a Ranger, you can get one, F-150, Ram 1500, Silverado. So they have GM, Chevy, whole FCA, and Ford. So there's a lot of different vehicles you can get. So yeah, that is that. Happy to answer as many questions as I can. But rmtoverland.com, go there. If you're interested, shoot a contact form. Some salesman will reach out to you that knows how the whole process works and can kind of walk you through it. But really cool opportunity with the Gladiator. I really, honestly, I really like the Gladiator. It's really cool. It's a really cool truck. So yeah, maybe we'll be seeing some more RMT vehicles in some upcoming videos, but that's all I got for you now. So until next time, guys, take care.